I found these in my stash. They've been sitting for a while. They are the Paul Rubens Haiya Oil Pastels. It's a box of 48 colors, and I think it's time that I open them up, swatch them, and use them on a project. So let's get to that. After I pet my assistant, she is really wanting attention right now. I'll be right back. Okay, so the office manager has moved on, left a little bit of cat hair, but she has moved on and we can break this box open. I got the 48 color size box. I know they make larger sizes. There's a little pamphlet here. So yeah, they make 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, and 72. The 48 is right up the middle. Theoretically, I know that I could get by with the smaller box sets. I know how to mix colors, I could layer, but I am always a sucker for these big boxes with all the colors. I always think it looks so pretty. It's kind of like a big box of candy. And when I can get larger boxes, I do. And I think when I got this, it was on sale and it was the 48 count box that was on sale. They didn't have the 60 or the 72 available. So it comes with a swatch card and see, look at all these pretty colors. Like I said, it's like a big box of candy. So let's move the lid out of the way here and let's swatch the colors. Now it looks like the colors are numbered. Is that corresponding to something in the book here? So yeah, they have one being white. I may have to get my eyeglasses out here. Let's look on here. Is there a number here? They seem to be really creamy, which is nice. Grab my glasses here. Hopefully I'm not jostling the microphone. Let's see. If there is a number on it, yeah, there is a number. It's right here. It's very small. Hold this up. Can you see it? Will the camera focus? Come on. There it goes. So you see that little number 1 there? So that's how we're going to tell what color we have. And it looks like in the book here, some of them have names by them. Like here we have the white. Oh, they tell you, here's the set of 12, here's the set of 24, here's the set of 36, and here's the set of 48. But not all of them have the names of the colors next to them. And so then it looks like they correspond across the row here, like we're going to go across to just be able to swatch them. So that's helpful to know. All right, so this is number 1. This is the white. Not really going to show up, but good for blending. Does it say the name on it? So this says Naples yellow on it. So I think what I'm going to do is just underneath here, let me make sure this pen actually works. Yeah, it does. So I'll just write underneath here, Naples yellow. And swatch that out. These are ultra creamy. They feel a little creamier than the Montmartre did. Here is a lemon yellow. It's like I am drawing with a lipstick. So I would say in the same range or a little creamier than the Montmartre, which means I'm probably going to love them for blending. I think what I'm going to do, I mean, all the colors, the pigments here are coming off nice and rich. Okay, this is interesting. This says bright yellow, but to me this is more of an orange. I mean, I guess it's a golden yellow, but it has like an orange tone to me. This says it's yellow deep. Again, sort of an orange color. It's like an orange yellow color. And again, I'm just going across. This is the 48 right here, and I'm just going across with the numbers as I have them. So it makes it nice and easy. And you can see it does correspond. So this is 38 and this is 38 on the swatch book there. So that makes it easy to determine what these are. I am having trouble reading some of these, but that's just my old lady eyes. So here's a vermilion. I always get kind of odd with some of the naming on these. To me, the vermilion is more of like a terracotta. It's like brown red, not a vermilion red, but that's how they named it. Anyway, it's going to take me a moment to swatch and write these out. So what I think I'm going to do is just speed things up a little bit for you, and then we can get to working on a project. So far, I am loving them. They feel really creamy. Again, it's like drawing with a lipstick, and the colors, the pigments are very bright. So let me just switch over, speed this up, and get the swatch card done. I was getting ready to swatch them, and then I pulled out this one, and it's oily. I don't know if you can see the oily residue on this. There, you can kind of see it glistening there. It's really oily. Like when I put my finger in here, I'm getting this oily red pigment here. And I'm not sure why this particular one is that consistency. It goes down on the card okay, but this is just kind of gross. It feels weird and bad. I'm just going to try to wipe it off. I don't know if these got heated in shipping and that caused some kind of an issue, or if there's just a defect with this particular oil pastel. But it is something that I just wanted to point out, trying to wipe it off as much as I can. And this is the first one that has been like that, and I'm looking through. All the other ones appear to be dry, but it's just whatever number 29 is. What is this shade? Now that I've wiped it off, it's a little better, but it is kind of sticky. I can't even read what this is. Ugh. The camera to read it because I can't see. It says it's red light. So this particular pastel is kind of greasy, and I just wanted to point that out. And now I'm going to move through and swatch the rest of them. So I forgot to hit record while I was swatching, but let's be real. You've seen other people swatch things before, so not necessarily anything you're missing out on. I did run into one other green down here that was oily, similar to the red, but not as bad. And a few of the wrappers in here, they were very hard to read because the oils had seeped through into the wrapper. And you can see my hands are an absolute mess. These are very creamy. I think they're going to be very blendable, and I don't know if this is just a result of the formulation of the Paul Rubens, or again, if these were heated and shipping and that's done something with it. I mean, these have been also sitting in my space now for months. So I don't know. It could be any of those factors. There's a lot of variables there. But overall, you can see from the card, they have gone on really nice. The pigments are still bright. They're very creamy. I think they're going to be very blendable. See, it just like comes right off on my fingers. They're really nice pastels overall, oil pastels. I'm going to do a quick project with them. I'll probably put some music onto that and then give you my thoughts on how they layered after. I don't know if they're going to be too creamy. I had seen someone mention that before with a Sennelier, that they thought those were almost too creamy. Whatever the formulation of oil pastel, you may have different preferences based on how you work. So just keep that in mind. yeah, let me find something in my sketchbook and color them and then give you my thoughts. But first I need to wipe up my hands so I don't make a mess. I'm thinking I may not store them in this box. Normally I keep everything in the box they came in, but as I'm pulling them out, that's how my hands are getting dirty. When I'm pulling them out, it's like the blue just got on my finger there, just pulling that up. So I'm going to look around too and see if I have another box to store these in and see if that might be a better option for me. Anyway, I'm going to set up to paint and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so we have another office manager here. She's moving off, but I did want to show you what I did with the box. I tried a couple of different containers, and I think it's something with me because I am neurodivergent, and I don't like the things rolling around too much where they'll break. I know theoretically I'm going to be using these and wearing them down, but for whatever reason, there's something about the way they store them that bothers me. So what I did was I wanted to keep the box. It has the chart on the back, which I discovered, that has the names of the colors, and I can read those. They still roll around a little bit in here, but not as badly. I have the color chart here. I used spray fixative on it. This is Spectrafix. It is a natural odor-free fixative for chalk, oil, pastels, pencils, colored pencils. I like it because it is, again, it's odor-free and doesn't bother anybody when I use it in the studio. It's health safe. There's no fumes. This has milk casein in it. You'll see how the cow is on the side here. So they're using casein derived from milk. And I sprayed this so it doesn't smear. What I did here, you can see they still roll around, but they're kept in their little trays. I can grab them without getting my fingers dirty. And now I knocked them on the floor. I took a box cutter and I cut these out of the center. So that's done. Hopefully I like what I did here. I am going to get set up to do a painting with these now. Sorry it's taken so long, but I needed to organize them in a way that made my brain happy. And this was the way that it made my brain happy. So now I can work. Here we go. Here is the finished piece. It's not one of my better pieces. You know, maybe there's a little bit going on with it's been a while since I've done one of these. I haven't worked with oil pastels now in several months. That shouldn't really affect me too much. I did not anticipate how creamy these really were. They're very opaque. They're very rich in pigment. They layer well, but they are definitely a lot softer than the Montmart oil pastels, and I was not anticipating that. I got a few areas where it blended more than I wanted it to. It's going to take me a little time to get used to these. And I mean, these are really quite soft. I don't know, again, if they were heated in shipment or something happened in the way that I stored them, but here is one where I have not used the tip. You can see how long the tip is. And then you can see, like on these others, the entire tip is gone. And I don't feel like I used a whole lot out of them. I mean, they come right off on my fingers more so than the Montmart does. So definitely a lot creamier in consistency than those. If you're not used to a very creamy oil pastel, you may struggle using them a bit. I'm not sure, because they are so creamy, if I would use them by themselves. I might layer them in with some of my other oil pastels. I have some Pentel that are harder, and I have some, well, I have the Montmart. I'll link to my review of those below as well. The Montmart sort of fall in the middle. They are creamy and blendable and layer well, but not so creamy that I feel like I'm using a lot of them. So this just goes into that concept where sometimes you may need to experiment a little bit. This is what a blank piece of paper or a sketchbook is for, just to give you an idea of how the product works in relation to your process. If you like something that's ultra creamy, I mean, these are like working with lipstick. You are going to love these. If you want something a little bit harder or somewhere in the middle, you may have to try some other different brands. I definitely will layer these in with my other ones and see if I like that as part of my process better. Overall, I like them a lot as far as the color and how they feel working with them. I wish they weren't as messy as the other ones, but oil pastels are messy as it is. I had to watch, if I set my hand here and moved it, you can see like I got a little bit of the color on the side here. Another thing when you're practicing, I do have a video where I have a tip. I took a photograph of the sketch before I started. And what that allows me to do is I can then trace that sketch onto a new sketchbook page and redo this picture again so that I don't lose that sketch image if I mess things up. It helps me be a little more free and experimental when I'm trying new products and supplies. So even though this drawing didn't come out exactly as I want it, I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. I still have the opportunity to work with the sketch again, and I now have a very good idea of how this particular product is going to work with my other art supplies. So, final thoughts on the Paul Rubens. They layer, they're opaque, they blend extremely well, but if you don't like ultra soft oil pastels, these might not be the oil pastels for you. The Montmart were kind of in the middle. You might like those better. Pentel and some of the other ones were very hard and didn't layer and blend as much as I wanted those to. So test them out. If you have some, let me know what your thoughts are on them. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.